First time I heard the word depression was in a college class, and it's something that was never talked about in our family. When I heard the symptoms, I realized that I was depressed. There were times when I'd wake up in the morning and didn't want to get out of bed. I would obsess over wanting to kill myself. I dealt with that through continued use of alcohol and drugs. And when I was 26 years old, I needed to get help. It was either that or suicide. I chose recovery, and so I went in and got help here in Reno. And that's the first time where I was able to start talking about my feelings and realize that what the alcohol and drugs have been doing for me all these years was just simply masking my pain. I've been 28 years sober since then. I have a son. His name is Griffin. He's 21 years old now. At an early age, we saw signs of depression with Griffin. When he was 12 years old, it was the first time that he ever said that he didn't want to live. It got to a point where I would need to get up in the middle of the night and go in his room and check on him to make sure that he was still alive. We knew that at that time that we had to get him help for his depression. He had been managing his depression through therapy and medication for years. In October of 2020, we had gotten into a small argument in the garage, came upstairs, and I just felt a nudge. 9 times out of 10, I would never even think about going to check on him. But this time, something just told me, go check on Griffin. And so I had walked downstairs, and just as I stepped into the garage, he had hung himself. He had just gotten to the end of the rope, and all I can remember doing was just running and just lifting him up and getting him off the rafter. I was in shock. One of the firemen that came was an old high school friend, and he saw that I was in shock. He just looked me straight in the eye, and he said, "He's okay. Griffin's alive." That night, there's no question in my mind that God led me downstairs. Just the fact that Griffin is alive today shows me that God is real. I don't know how I would have gotten through any of this without Jesus. He's given me the ability to trust, to lean in. He gives me the strength to work through these problems. About a month ago, my wife Kendall, who's struggling with breast cancer right now, did her story at Grace. At that time, I had called Griffin and told him what was going on, and also talked to him about his experience. And I asked him, is it okay if I share your story? He said, absolutely. He said, if I can do anything to help someone out, maybe save someone else's life, that he would be more than happy to do that. Depression can be humiliating. It can be, we want to hide from it. We don't want people to know. I know personally that when we have these thoughts of suicide, they can turn into suicide. Mine didn't, and Griffin survived his.